let's run this flow. So if we run this, what it should do is it should take all the orders from Shopify. It should then go off and either create or update the customer record in NetSuite so that you can then create each order within NetSuite with the correct assigned customer. So as you can see, it does not do that. Right away, you can see that it does grab multiple orders. So in this case, it's finding 2 orders, and it does try and send them and map them to NetSuite to first create the customer. So what happens here is it brings them all in, it maps it all at once, and tries to send that whole payload to NetSuite. So if we went to our customers page and loaded the screen, it's only created that first one in that list because NetSuite's API and how this works doesn't allow you to send an array of customers. So what's wrong here is that we're missing flow control to tell the flow for each individual order, do X, Y, and Z, for example. So let's add our flow control shape in. So we'll do it straight after the get all orders from Shopify. So we'll do flow control. We'll say for every single order, batch size of 1. You can increase the batch, but for this one, we want it to run for every individual order. Save that, and then that's your flow control added. So let's try that again. So let's initialize the flow. It'll go through the motions. It'll now create 2 separate payloads, one with the first order, one with the second order, and map the first customer and map the second customer, and then send that on to NetSuite. So if we refresh this page, you'll see now we have our 2 customers that we're trying to get in. So that solves that problem. So then the next issue is that we're going down further and we want to take the information now and essentially create the sales orders, because now we know our customers are safe in NetSuite. They've either been created or updated. So now we can create our sales orders. But the issue is that the data coming out of here from the update customer call now passes into the shapes below it. So now it's not mapping the correct information to send to NetSuite. And why is that? Because we've lost that original order payload. And this is where caching comes in. So even though we've got flow control, we broke up the order, the issue is once we do that upsert or that create customer record in NetSuite, like I said, we lose that original payload for the order to then map to NetSuite. This is where caching comes in. So first, what we need to do is we have to do an add to cache. So we'll add to the cache right after the flow control. So we'll do add to cache. And there are 3 different types of cache levels. You've got flow run, which is cached for this individual run and gets wiped each time. You've got flow, which allows it to save it across multiple runs of the same process flow for a retention of 7 days. And then you've got company-wide, which allows you to create a cache that can be used across multiple different process flows. So for more information on that, we have lovely documentation on all of our different shapes, on flow control, on the cache shape, and you've got all that information in here if you want to take a look. So the purpose of this, we create our cache. It's going to be for just this flow run. We're going to do a order key, so we know how to get the information out, and we're going to save all the pages. So we're going to set that key, and in this case, we want to save all the pages because the data we're pulling from Shopify is, it's paginated. So there is also append to cache, which allows you to create one big page. But again, for more information on that, please do take a look at the documentation. So I'm going to save this, and then that adds in our cache sheet right here. So that'll save each of the orders, so that we can come back and get them at a later point. So where do we want to get them at? We want to get them on down past the upsert customer. So after the upsert customer, we want to do a load from cache. So we're going to grab our cache key, and we're going to load all the pages because it's going to create an individual page for each of the orders that come in this case, two orders. So similar setup, we add the load to cache, load from cache, similar setup where we select the cache, the key, and all that. So click save, and that plops that in there after the connection shape. So let's run this again. So initialize the flow. It'll go through the motions. You can see it jumping away. So it's done the flow run where it's broke it up. It's added each of those orders into that cache. It goes on, does that mapping for each of the two customers, creates the customers, and then for each one of those, it'll load out the orders again. It'll then now maps the correct information from the orders for each of the different orders and goes into NetSuite. So again, now we have our two customers, but if we refresh the sales order page, we now also have our two orders that came in from Shopify. So that's an example of how flow control and cache plays such an important part in the process flows. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you.